got to show you. Our Education Technology Lab, which we fondly call our Ed Lab, and our simulated classroom, which we call the Sim Room. We're overjoyed, literally, to share with you the new additions to our education family. Both rooms have been designed to support a focus for giving students the tools they need to create effective learning environments that reflect best practices for teaching and learning, which starts with technology, using technology to build connections with students. We already know that students know how to do everything with technology, so we think it's important to teach our future teachers how to use it, so when they get into the classroom, they can build connections with their students. That's the most important thing. It provides a more engaging learning environment, stimulating performance all the way across the board. It doesn't have to be at the low end or the high end, but it's all the way across the board. And it provides, the technology in the lab provides an application for every subject and for every learning level. We have children 3 years old today, all the way through higher ed, and of course, we all know adult ed, if the adults can just learn how to use it. We've joined with CSTO, our Culver-Stockton Teachers Organization, and also YAY, which is our Young Alums group that just got started last year to make this possible, and we want to say thank you to all our generous alums who have donated money to help make both of these rooms a possibility. I'd like to introduce our education faculty, if you could stand up. Okay, we have Barbara Tripp, our field coordinator. We have Dr. Glenda McCarty. We have Dr. Terry Scherer behind that. And we have in our physical education and health department, Aaron Potter and Bill Snyder. I think we also have our adjunct professor here for mathematics. Where are you, Marion? Way back in the back, waiting. Thank you. So I will take this moment to introduce one of our biggest supporters on campus, the guy who's got my back, and that would be President Richard Gillum.
I'll get her back. Good. Well, good afternoon, and certainly welcome to this special event, actually two events in one, to really kickstart our 2012 homecoming celebration. So we're very, very pleased to have you here. The dedication of our new Robert and Catherine Gillum Technologies classroom and the Jordan Smith simulated classroom. Both classrooms speak to the heart of what our educational experience is all about, and that's our students, and I see them back there, and I'm glad they're here joining us today. As you'll easily recognize today, both of these classrooms, as different as they are, will have a significant impact on the quality of and preparation of the Culver-Stockton teacher education program. First of all, we'll start with the Robert and Catherine Gillum Educational Technology Classroom. I am so pleased to have these two join in this partnership to make this possible. This is a cutting-edge technology classroom. Both Bob and Kathy have dedicated their lives to education, and how proud we are to have them in helping us in this project. Bob's work as superintendent of the Ball Chatham School District allowed for some amazing and creative initiatives. I'll just bet that one of the reasons that he was named the 2011 Illinois Superintendent of School, and we are so proud of that as a Culver-Stockton graduate, is the fact that their school district, there's an expectation in their school district of the use of technology and the excuse me, I lost my place here. The involvement of the school district's use in high technology would certainly be a part of the award that he received in 2011. When we first approached Bob and Kathy about this particular project, we all learned very quickly that we were talking to two people who probably knew more about technology and the use of technology than we did at the time we started this project. Through this gift, we have pooled the resources of the education department into one location. Where it was used in the past, we had groups of computers in different rooms, and it made it difficult for all of our students to be working together online in a particular spot. In this room, we can now gather all of our students for all internet connectivity. In this room also, we have a smart board and Apple TV, which is the more progressive way to do things today, and we're certainly happy to have that. Along with this and the opportunity to share this part of technology for our education majors, this will become the primary room for our teachers to learn. In the past, it was just a secondary enrichment tool to use computers because they were spread out throughout the office. This is in the spirit of educational and experiential learning, a place where we will engage students in a significant way. Not only our students, but the students that they will be teaching. When it comes to iPad technology, which I think most of you are familiar with, this gift will enable us to have the opportunity for all of our students to have access to the cart that we use to move around within the offices and classrooms on this floor, with 20 iPads with a rechargeable cart, and again, something that we long for. This is innovation at its best, and we are so pleased that we have this classroom and offer this to our students. This time I'd like to bring Bob forward for a few words.
Thank you, Dr. Valentine. I think I will make an adjustment here. As well, I brought my own technology. We're honored to be here today. I'd be remiss if I didn't first introduce to you and at least have her stand and be recognized, my wife Kathy, who's a partner in this venture and certainly supports our initiative here. You know, I've always been a tech guy, and I'm not sure where that all started, so I tried to think back in my career. And I became a principal at age 24, 1981, and it was also the year that the Macintosh was pushed into schools throughout the Midwest by Apple as a major initiative. Well, when you're the rookie administrator and also the youngest guy in the building, when the computers show up and the superintendent says, you know, who's going to use this and how are we going to do things, or it's like the old cereal commercial, give it to Mikey, he'll try anything. Well, it was give it to Bob, he's got to figure this out and how the technology will work, not only from an administrative function as it was back then, but for later student application and use. And, you know, I'm able to bring my own technology up for the presentation because, as Dr. Hammer would say, there's an app for that. Much of my message today will be for the students. I did bring hard copy for someone that, you know, may need it. And I want to just be prepared that at any point in time when I slow down my presentation, it's for Kenny Greger, who may not quite comprehend everything that's being said today. Gotcha, Ken. We're here because we believe that Culver-Stockton education majors, the Ed Department faculty led by Dr. Hammer, and most importantly, the future learners whose lives will be impacted deserve this kind of resource and investment in tomorrow. Dr. Valentine and trustees, I thank you for the opportunity to give something back to the institution that impacted my career and livelihood in so many ways. Throughout my career, I've been blessed to work in institutions and organizations that supported learners with cutting-edge technology. However, times are still changing and evolving. even for districts, in those districts that were committed, the boundaries of the classroom and the schoolhouse no longer apply to pre-K-12 education. In fact, the pedagogy and tech-assisted, specifically web-mediated learning constitutes an evolution that's alarming in rate. Ultimately, instructional technology will be transparent. We won't be talking about a tech lab. We'll be talking about it's just what everyone has available in access and resource. As educators, we should advocate for a digital communication that enables learners with common intellectual interests to share experiences while learning in formats that transcend institutional boundaries. The school day, school year, textbook curriculums, geographical location, and yes, even walls are barriers and impediments to today's learner. Today's school-age learners demonstrate flexibility, fast-paced adaptation to their surroundings. They already comprehend the application of technology and enhancements because from age 2, they've all been using your cell phones to keep quiet in a restaurant. Yes, how true. In order to symbolize how this technology is changing our world, and what the future teachers of our children need to be prepared for, I'm going to use the illustration of my 3 grandchildren. We have a 4th on the way. I'm not sure he's blogging yet. But our twin 6-year-olds started kindergarten this year, Abby and Bree, twin 6-year-old granddaughters. And their world already centers around the use of technology as a communication device. They were assigned iPads on their first day of class in kindergarten to travel with them until it's outdated and be replaced and replicated in their school district. Now keep in mind, they grew up using the computer for simulation games, storyboard building, taking photos, and even Skyping with Grandma and Papa. But with a touchpad device, when they want additional information, or their mind takes them in a new direction, they click on the picture or highlight the caption for an immediate transition of knowledge and information. So much so that now when they look at books, and more importantly magazines and catalogs, some of which we're paying subscriptions for, that needs to end, Grandma, by the way. When they see a picture or something interests them, they're clicking on the picture and going nowhere. Because the technology that they use on a daily basis is no longer relevant to the print document that we're still handing them in many applications. How do you think this generation of students will respond to a black and white worksheet being handed out in the classroom? Not well. Our 3-year-old grandson's even more intriguing. Charlie Bob, or better known in our household as Mini-Me, still enjoys books with tactile stimuli, puzzles, and manipulatives, but because of his access to the iPad and iPhone, he wants to turn pages by flicking across the page. Simulates that activity with all of his reading material. And tries to zoom pictures by expanding and shrinking the screen. Doesn't work in print. This is a generation of students that are going to enter your classrooms in rapid rate, and we need to be prepared for them. So we're honored to be able to help with that generation of technology here on the Culver campus. I truly believe, after 31 years in school administration, that this next generation of teachers must be prepared for the children they're going to receive. These children will see text and pencil paper activities as slow motion inhibitors to their learning. And these examples illustrate why it's imperative that our future training networks include high tech and high touch. The agenda for the future must include the elimination of the podium palace, as I stand in front of a podium here today, because that's no longer the way children learn in their fast-paced environments. In the past year, while I was visiting with executives from Pearson, I saw what I believe to be the future of testing, assessment, and the future of learning in the world, really, not even just the United States. They're already prepared, it's already ready to roll out real-time assessment for every content initiative in the country. Which means that when a student is ready, they take the assessment. They're not limited by when the class is ready, when the teacher's ready, or by any peers interaction. And not only that, the assessment results are immediate. This is the digital world that our students are going to grow up in, that are entering school today, and we need to be ready for that. We hope, and Kathy and I certainly believe, that the time has come to ensure that Culver-Stockton graduates are prepared for the next generation of learner and dedicate this lab to that aim. And to the faculty and President Valentine, we thank you for the opportunity to serve.
Thank you, Bob and Kathy. It's a wonderful gift, and please know that we greatly appreciate your help and support. And now, let's dedicate to Jordan Smith, class of 2012 Educational Simulated Classroom. This is extremely bittersweet time. Jordan was an active and involved student who is dearly missed. For Culver-Stockton College to be able to honor Jordan through the development of this classroom is one way we can ensure her legacy continues. This room has turned out to be a warm and welcoming environment for all children that it will serve. Not only will the current teacher education majors and their future students benefit from the superior training they'll receive in this room, but students in the Canton community will benefit directly from its supplemental tutoring. This simulated classroom allows us to prepare the next generation of teachers, but it'll also allow to prepare the next generation of Wildcat students. As you tour this amazing space, it's noticeable how much planning went into making this space a real-life classroom. Smartboard technology that fits the needs of youngsters, tables and chairs to match, and then there's the hopscotch area strategically placed over the president's office. Isn't it wonderful for me to know each and every time the classroom is in use? That was supposed to be funny. You need to come downstairs and hear them hopping around. I'd like to take this moment to thank everyone who has helped make this room a reality. Thank you to the donors. Thank you to Jordan's family who are with us today. I'm so thankful that we continue to honor Jordan by creating excellence with this classroom. At this time, I'd like to ask Barb Tripp, who is, by the way, our major donor to this classroom, to come forward and say a few words.
Thank you very much. I grew up in Canton. I went to school in Canton. Then I went away to college, and where I went, I was definitely not happy. So one day I just called my mom, and I said, "Mom, call Miss Bays, because I think I'm going to come home to Culver." And as an elementary education major, I spent a lot of time in this room right here. It was a sterile white room with some tables, and our professor, Dr. Burl McBride, was a very fine man, and he had us do a lot of projects and demonstrate our teaching knowledge that we had learned. And I always thought when I was standing in that room that it really should be a room that looked like a classroom. And so last fall, after I started here, Dr. Glenda McCarty and I were sitting in her office, and we looked out in the hallway to where the shelves were with all of the books that are in here now. They were just on the shelves, and you couldn't tell what they were or anything, and I knew from 38 years of experience in an elementary classroom that the best practices now is to put them, to group them by genre and by author, and to have them out so that children can take that whole basket of books and sit down on the floor and read whatever they want to read. And so, as Glenda and I were talking about those books, we also, we tend to think a lot alike, don't we, Glenda? Very rarely do we have do we disagree. But we decided right then and there, you know, we need a classroom. And so I know in fact that she said to me, let's go down and talk to Ms. Hammer and our department chair. And when we did, she was so enthusiastic. And so that was the day that all of this started. And so together with my donations and several other people that have donated, and in addition, also Jordan Smith's family also was a generous donor for this classroom. It's developed into something that we literally put the last few stickers on the boxes of books today. So we are more than thrilled. Everybody else has talked about what the room is going to be used for, so I don't have to go on with that. But we're very proud, and when we were trying to decide how we would name this classroom, because we knew that the tech lab was going to be named in your honor, we decided that Jordan Smith, with all of her enthusiasm, high intelligence, and just a warm, wonderful person, she was the person whose name we should put on the door. And so for that, we are very grateful for your generous donation. And in the back corner, you will see where it says Maggie May's Reading Corner. And Maggie May is Jordan's little girl, is she 3 yet? She's 3.5. 3.5. And so we made that special so that she could go sit in that room and read books, and someday she'll realize that this room is in honor of her mom. So thank you very much.
Danielle Wade is president of our teachers organization and has something to say on behalf of the students.
Thank you, Professor Hammer. On behalf of the Wildcat educators and all the education majors, I want to thank the sponsors of the Ed Lab and Simulated Classroom for their generosity to bring education at Culver-Stockton College to the 21st century. We all know that technology skills are necessary for educators who want to make a connection with the students, from preschool through higher education. The Ed Lab will help us do that. We also know to be effective in the classroom, we as pre-service teachers need to learn and practice teaching in a classroom. The Sim Classroom will help us do that. I, for one, am excited to be part of what's happening here at CSC. Thank you for joining us today.
Mary Bowman graduated in 2010, and she is our current president and representative of our YAY group, which stands for Young Alum Educators. Mary and Jordan were good friends, and Mary has a little bit to say.
Thank you. As Professor Hammer said, the Young Alum Educators, we formed this group because obviously many of you are alum from Culver-Stockton, and what a great way to network with some of our alumni. Just today as well, I've got to speak with a few of you educators and learn some new ideas. And I think it's a great way to have us come together to create those networks. Some different ways that we plan on doing this is by hosting R&Rs, and so to bring alumni back here and share our methods with each other, such as this great innovative way that we included technology here at Culver. Another way that we can share our ideas with each other is by just talking about what do you use in the classroom for classroom management, things that will help you become a better teacher for our education majors or teachers that are in the field that might have a difficult time in their classrooms. So by sharing those ideas, it's a great way to learn from each other, which is why we all went into education. If you are interested in being a part of the Young Alum Educators Club, we have a Facebook page. Please don't hesitate to contact Mrs. Hammer or myself, and we would just like to create this cohort group to learn from one another. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mary. One of the best ways to affect change is through education. And hands-on learning and career preparation are changing lives and having an impact on a new generation right here at Culver-Stockton College. I want you to know that it is a real honor to this day dedicate the Gillum Education Technology Lab. And it is so meaningful for this campus community to dedicate the Jordan Smith Education Simulated Classroom. At this time, we will now have a ribbon cutting for both of these wonderful new Centers for Learning on our campus, followed by light refreshments in this hallway to my left. We thank you so much for being here today for these special occasions. We thank those who have made this possible, and remember those whose legacy will live on through this wonderful gift. At this time, we will now do the ribbon cutting. We will begin now.